Hi.
Hi.
Okay. All right. I was just giving you a second to settle. Okay.
Thank you.
Dana, just, because we've been friends for a while now, just relatively, it's just a pop quiz. If we were friends, and obviously, I've been a big fan and promoter of your career, and, obviously. So if I tried to kill you, if I just once, sent a lynch mob and, that almost killed you,
I think that would be
how
enough.
long would it take us to, for you to work through that?
I don't think I would.
No, really?
I love the listeners. I love the mooks, but I think our relationship would be done. We'd be done. Steph.
Really? Wow. It's really kind of harsh and judgmental.
Yeah.
Judge. Well, I guess Mike Pence, a man of God, as you know, he harbors no hard feelings toward Donald Trump. Reportedly plans to launch an organization defending the successful Trump-Pence record of the last 4 years. Apparently, that would include the Trump part of the Trump-Pence record that had to do with hanging Mike Pence. But okay.
Sure.
Right. He spoke very favorably about his relationship with President Trump, said another Indiana Republican. I got the sense they speak often and maintain the same personal friendship and relationship now that they've had for 4 years.
So, which is a fake one that no one really believes.
Right. Yeah. That is all about Mike Pence's political interests in retaining the Trump base for the future. Yeah.
And possibly some sort of blackmail. We don't know. We have no idea.
Perhaps.
What could he blackmail him with, Dana?
I don't know.
I mean, how pathetic is this, right? That Nikki Haley's the only one that tries to go out on a limb, and like Liz Cheney did, and then tried to walk back, right? And the limb had already been sawed off. Like now, I mean, it's just it's pathetic. Yeah, they try to run back to Mar-a-Lago, kiss the ring. It's just it really is so sad. I think it's happy for us, but it's this cult. I mean, it really is.
I mean, start your Patriot Party. Start your PP party. You'll be the PP candidate, and we'll get the White House back in 4 years. Just do it. Split the party. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm a little worried about the insurrections between now and then, but other than that, I mean, we'll be good to go.
Malcolm Nance, by the way. Oh, I'm so proud of him, by the way. I mean, I know he's not just my Malcolm Nance, but he testified before the House Judiciary yesterday, and he's just, everything Malcolm Nance has been saying on this show and elsewhere in his books for years is happening. Unfortunately, he's rarely ever wrong, and but anyway, there he was testifying for before the House Judiciary, and he's been talking about the coming civil war and all of this stuff for a while. I mean, I was just reading this not too long ago. Experts warning that after failing to overturn the 2020 election and take over the U.S. Capitol, extremist groups are gearing up for a kind of last stand. Militia researchers said things will get worse before they get better. We're going to see a lot of this coalition building with some pretty nasty actors. All these groups, 3 Percenters, American Patriot, there's all of them. Oath Keepers, Proud Boys. They said they hope to get Georgia to succeed from the Union, either from an amendment to the Constitution or the collapse of the American experiment. They said we've seen our last, one of them said online, we've seen our last Republican president in American history, the ballot box. We tried as hard as we could try. It's not working. I mean, these groups are still out there and they're still dangerous, and they have a bunch of sycophants in the Republican Party who will keep telling the big lie that is feeding this, right?
Absolutely. And that last statement, I have to give them credit, is true. They tried the ballot box and no longer works, because if we all had a fair election, Republicans would never have the White House again. Right. So that statement is actually true. It's just terrifying, because that means they're going to take it back by other means. Yeah, we just had Brendan Boyle on, and I was saying H.R. 1 may be the only bill that matters after COVID relief, because we won't get any of the other things we need to get, immigration, all the other things that are, on the table that need to be done, because, there's some issues, particularly if we don't get rid of the filibuster, that you are not going to get bipartisan help on, right? You're just not. Yes. They're not for And your bipartisan girlfriend in Arizona, she's
Stop calling her my girlfriend. Yeah. Well, she is not my girlfriend. I don't even know her.
She knows you. Mm-hmm. She knows you. But
dangerous creature.
Yeah, that
Malcolm
dangerous creature shirt that like could have belonged to everyone I've ever dated. Okay, hey. Yeah, I don't. She's just wrong about the filibuster. I don't know what to say about that. I read. Someone of her constituents sent me a long letter, her response when they write her about the filibuster, and she's just wrong, right? I mean, this is just not. Like we were saying, we love Di-Fi in California. It's not just her age. It's that it's some Senate that doesn't exist anymore, right?
I agree with that 100%. Yeah, Di-Fi needs. I'm disappointed that she said she's running again in the next term. I do hope that she is challenged by a Democrat that we believe in and we can get into the office. I think she's done, for the most part, a good job doing what she needs to do. But lately, it's been a little questionable.
Yeah.
It's been a little questionable.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, well, we have. So this was, I guess, if COVID isn't a we thing, and by the way, all Republican governors and state and local officials are for this. 75, 80% of the American people are for it.
Absolutely.
If that's not a we, I don't know what is. But anyway, This was about protecting the U.S. supply chain. The president yesterday.
The Vice President and I had a very productive meeting with a bipartisan group of senators and House members to address an issue of both concern to our economic security as well as our national security, the resilience and reliability of our critical supply chains. This is a critical area where Republicans and Democrats agreed. It was one of the best meetings. It's the best meeting I think we've had so far, although we've only been here about 5 weeks. It was like the old days. People actually are on the same page.
I don't know. The thing I think that's, because Mitch McConnell tends to say it out loud. Remember when he didn't know they were going to lose the majority? He's like, we are not going to give them one win, even if I think it's a good bill. Because they don't see, really, you don't think COVID release is a win for all of us and you can take partial credit for it? It's like, no, that's a win for Joe Biden. It's a win for Democrats. And so as long as they're looking at things like that, no, we're never going to get, they will not let him get anything done.
As long as Mitch McConnell is in any sort of power, even if he's the minority leader, he is going to stonewall everything. So if we have to take measures that are not illegal, but that we fight differently than we fought before, we need to do it now. The guy's not going to be around forever, and I'm not talking about alive. He will retire at some point. There's nothing saying we can't get everything we need done now, so do it. Exhibit
A, I've said this a million times. Just to your point, Dana, McConnell throws cold water on Democrats' proposed January 6th commission. If ever there was a we, again, they attacked all of you. They were going to hang Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi. They were going to kill all of you, right? But they're
not to mention McConnell on the floor. McConnell on the floor said Donald Trump. His words incited this. He can't take that back. Even though he has said 15 other things and talked out of every side of his shell, he said this insurrection was caused by Donald Trump's words.
Yeah.
So we have that on record.
Nancy Pelosi's bid to create a broad bipartisan review of the January 6th insurrection is in peril after Mitch McConnell slammed the proposal as partisan by design. How? Right? He rejected a draft version of Pelosi's proposed commission that would give Democrats a 7-4 majority on the panel. We're in power. So, shock of shocks, we're acting like it. And he said any large-scale review of the insurrection must also include an analysis of broader political violence, a nod to Republican complaints about the George Floyd protests, right? Because as we know, both sides do it, Dana. Both sides do it. You have to look at both sides. Really? One side attacked the Capitol and killed 5 people. McConnell's comments underscore the steep challenge Democrats face if they were trying to recreate the bipartisan spirit of the 9/11 Commission. I mean, it's just nothing. We can't get help. This is why we got to get rid of the filibuster. They will not do anything with us. It's just, okay. Oh, all right. President Biden, trying again, though.
There were good bipartisan work has already been done. The leaders of this operation, the House and Senate, already have done great work, and I want to thank them for their leadership. We're here to build on that, and the bottom line is simple. The American people should never face shortages in the goods and services they rely on, whether that's their car, or the prescription medicines, or the food at the local grocery store. And remember, the shortages in PPE during the pandemic, that meant we didn't have masks. We didn't have gowns or gloves to protect our frontline healthcare workers.
Yes, and one more, President Biden.
I'm grateful for the members of Congress who came to see me, Republican leaders as well as Democrats. They're leading the way. We're going to stay in close contact with members of both sides of the aisle and keep advancing our shared goals. Everyone has a role to play to strengthen our supply chains and our country. This is the United States of America. We are better prepared to meet the challenges of the 21st century than any country in the world. There's nothing we've ever failed to achieve if we work together. And that's what we decided to do today.
You know, the only thing hopeful this morning I heard was our friend Representative Brendan Boyle. Dana was just on, and he did say these, as I call them, performance artists. They're certainly not legislators, but the Marjorie Taylor Greenes and Lauren Boeberts and Matt Gaetzes. He did say there's less of them. There, you know, that the party, that there are people on the other side that he can work with, that there are not all just performance artists, right? I mean, we were talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, like trolling her, you know, colleague who has a trans child.
She's a horrible human being.
Yeah, she's just horrible and immature. I mean, it's just, right? Yeah. She's just, it was like high school trolling. You put up your flag, I'm going to put up my anti-trans flag. Ugh. Right? And has to, you know, refer to her colleague's, you know, child as your biological son. Like, it's just disrespectful. It's not even partisan.
It's gross. It's gross.
Yeah. By the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene might be going through some things. She just doesn't belong in Congress she belongs in prison, first of all. So someone she called a friend was part of the January 6th attack at the Capitol.
Yeah.
Anthony Aguero, who does live conservative commentary online, confessed on video that he'd been among those who entered the Capitol. He contradicted false claims the Capitol attack was done by Antifa. He said, we were all there. It was not Antifa and it was not BLM. It was Trump supporters that did that yesterday. I'm the first to admit it, being one myself. A message was sent, he said in a streaming video as he walked away from the Capitol on January 6th. Greene and Aguero have attended pro-Trump rallies together. CNN captured Greene repeatedly calling Aguero amazing and a friend. On social media, Aguero has called Greene one of my closest friends. I mean, I just think this trail is leading right to...
They took their cell phone records. They took congressional cell phone records, and I would love to see if there were some text messages between MTG and her buddy, you know, during that time of like, you know, about Nancy Pelosi, or no, this is where we're at, or this is what you need to do. It would be a beautiful thing if that's what they found.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, anyway, and that's what Brendan Boyle was absolutely right? He said we need a real criminal investigation with subpoena power is the main thing we need. I think a lot of these committees, particularly that they're putting some of the complicit members like Cruz and Hawley on, they're there to distract and throw up as much dust and cover your ass and whatever, so people just go, oh, well, it was really nobody's fault, right? I mean, it's yeah. All right, 19 minutes after the hour.